Hejsa. Today is about crochet, not quilting, patchwork, embroidery, whatever it is I normally make videos about. So I used to do a lot of crochet, but unfortunately I guess I overdid it, because these days if I do it for too long at a time I get a pain in my right thumb, so I only do it sparingly. But I have started I guess a long-term project, because I can't, as I said, I can't just work on it for long periods, so it will take the time that it takes. But as you can see, I've got all these granny squares, and it is my plan that they will become a scarf eventually, and there's no real plan for how I'm going to join them, and I'm not sure that or sure how long it's going to be or how wide. I'm just going to keep making granny squares until I have enough, and it may not be just these colors. I hope I can make it just for my stash of this cotton yarn. But this video is not really about the project that I'm working on. It's kind of more about an old project. Many years ago, I'm not sure when, 2008, 2009, something like that, I made this granny square blanket, and I also made a photo tutorial on my blog, and it's really funny. It's still all these years after I made it, it's probably the most popular post on my blog. Anyway, so I get a lot of questions. Oh, is there a video tutorial for this? And my answer has always been no. But now there will be. So the tutorial on my blog is not about how to make granny squares, although I think I did make one about that as well. But it is about how you join the granny squares. When I was making this blanket, I looked at a bunch of different methods of joining the squares, but none of them had the look that I wanted my blanket to have, because I wanted the join to be sort of seamless. So I tried a few different things, and eventually I came up with this method that I have used. I don't know if I'm the only one who's come up with this method. Surely not. But anyway, I thought I would finally make this video tutorial for how it comes together. I really like how it feels like it's seamless, and it replicates the openness of the granny squares. So anyway, let's have a look at how to do that. And excuse all the yarn ends, I haven't got around to weaving them in yet. So yeah, I have made a little start, and so the principle is that you first join the squares in strips, and then you join the strips together. So let's grab another square. So I'll join it to this one, And let's just pick a yarn at random. Right, so some people crochet granny squares so that they have a front and a back, and some do them so that they don't. I'm one of those people who crochet them with a front and a back, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, so what you do is you take the two granny squares you want to join together, and you sort of place them back to back like this, and then you take your yarn and it can be a bit awkward to sort of hold both of these together, but once you get started you can actually just let it dangle down. Anyway, let's just join the yarn to the front granny square and then chain 3 chains, and then you move over to the other granny square, and we're working in the corners to start with. So I made the 3 chains in the corner of the front granny square, and now I'm going to make 3 double crochet or treble crochet if you use the English terminology into the corner of the back granny square. Right, and then I make 3 double crochet stitches in the next gap on the front granny square, and then I make 3 double stitch in the back granny square, and I just keep alternating between the 2 granny squares as I'm working along, making 3 double crochet stitches in each one. And I don't move the 2 squares, they stay in the same position back to back. And as you can see, as I'm working, sometimes I hold on to both of them, sometimes I let one of them dangle down. Alright, now I have made these groups of 3 stitches in each of the gaps, and at the corner of the front square I'm also making 3 stitches, but for the back one I'm just going to do one. And then I'm going to cut off the yarn and just secure the stitch. So that's how you make the strips, by adding them to each other. So then when you have your long strips, you want some yarn. What color? This one maybe. So I would always try and organize my joining so that I have to do the least amount of the short edges here. So for example, when I come to do my scarf, which will probably be long and skinny, then I would need to probably do all of these joins like that, and then I can just zoom along doing long rows connecting together. But it doesn't really matter how you do it. Right, let's just get that out of the way. So this is what I'm working on. And I also like how this method is quite flexible. So I could, let's say I joined these ones together and then I decided I wanted to add some more. I could add that in either direction. Alright. So joining the strips is basically the same as joining individual ones. So you take the two strips back to back, and then you join your yarn at the corner of the front one, and then you chain 3 stitches. 2, 3, and then you make 3 double crochet in the corner of the back granny square, and then you make 3 double crochet stitches in the first space in the front granny square, and make 3 double crochet in the first gap in the back granny square. So you can see it's just the same as joining each individual squares together, or 2 squares together. So I'm just gonna quickly do this till we get to the corner. I think I might just speed this up so that it's a bit quicker. Alright, so now I'm at the corner of the first, or the front granny square, and I'm just going to make 3 double crochet stitches in the corner, and then at the back square, before we ended with just one double crochet stitch, but now we're gonna make 3. I think I messed that one up. Alright, so the next group of 3 stitches goes into this gap here between the chain and this group of 3 stitches. So those gaps are treated just like any other gap in one of the granny squares. And the same here, where we ended with a single stitch and created a gap, that is also just treated as a gap. Right, let's just have a little look at how this is looking now. So here we've just passed the corners of the second square. So I think that's going quite nicely. So just continue like that, alternating between making the stitches in the front and in the back square. So I'm going to stitch this all the way to the end, and then we'll have a look at that. Right, I'm almost at the corner now, or the end, and I'm not sure that I've got enough yarn. Let's see if I win this round of yarn chicken. May just have enough. Right. Alright, so I'm just going to leave this loose here. I think I will have to redo this so that I have an end to actually tie off. Right, so this is how it looks, and as you maybe noticed, I finished the last corner of the back square with a set of 3 double crochet stitches, and the corner of the front square with just 1 double crochet stitch. So that's how it works. So because of how it's constructed, it tends to sort of skew slightly. And if you find that annoying, then maybe this is not the joining method for you. I don't mind. I quite like that it feels very sort of handmade. What you can do is, like I've done here, I haven't stretched the block the squares before I joined them. And that may be a way to avoid it if you block the whole thing together. But as I said, it may bother you so much that you don't like it, then that is fine. So this is the seamless granny square join. One thing I would do is add another, once I've joined everything together, add another row of the granny square stitch, or whatever you want to call it, groups of 3 double crochet stitches in each gap, just to hold things together. One thing I forgot to say earlier about how to construct it, obviously for each short join you will need to weave in the ends, and that is another reason for trying to reduce the amount of short joins so that there's less ends to weave in. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And I hope you have a great day, whatever you're making.